Hello, everyone. My name is Earl Pamintuan. I'm from the University of Guam. I'm studying computer science and I'm a junior. So my project is about the impact of typhoons on Guam tourism. So a little background on Guam. Uh, Guam is the largest and southernmost island in the Mariana Islands, located in the Western Pacific Ocean, as you can see on the globe. It is a U.S. territory with a population of around 170,000 people. It has a tropical climate, making it vulnerable to typhoons, especially from June to December. So, a background on my project. Tourism is Guam's leading source of income, taking up 60% of the annual business revenue. Tourism alone generates 1.4 billion annually. And my motivation for doing this project is that storms and typhoon are prevalent in Guam. Since since it's the start of the rainy season, I wanted to research the impact of typhoons on Guam's leading source of income. So my question, how do typhoons impact visitor arrivals in Guam? My hypothesis is major typhoons in Guam cause an immediate decrease to visitor arrivals in the following month after the storm. So for my data sets, I used Guam Visitors Bureau. They have monthly arrival statistics in the form of PDFs, as you can see over here. And I used the storm events database to search through um, different years to see any significant typhoons during those times. So my methods was I manually extracted the data from visitor arrival PDFs. I created my own CSV manually because uh, I'll talk about that in the issues. And then I read NOAA tropical event summaries, and then I categorized the typhoon severity by qualitative impact. And then after that, I manually merged both data into a CSV. So my issues for gathering the data was the PDFs for Guam Visitors Bureau had different templates every month. So sometimes the data that I needed was on the first page, sometimes it was on the third page. It made it hard to collect it using like a script. So this limited my time and I already have a limited time to begin with, so this narrowed the scope of the research even more. And then lastly, the storm severity ratings were also manually estimated. So for my collection of data, uh, I use the PDF's monthly arrival statistics, and I created a CSV using fields such as year, month, and total visitors from 2019 to 2025. And then I used the NOAA tropical event summaries by filtering for typhoons on Guam during 2019 to 2025. And then I gauged and summarized the impact based on where the storm hit on Guam, whether it was a direct hit or it passed by, and the infrastructure damage. And then I merged both data collected into a CSV, so adding typhoon, the typhoon name, and then the impact. So for my tools and steps, I mainly use Python uh, using Plotly and Pandas. So for the first picture, I imported Plotly and Pandas. And then the second picture, I loaded my CSV. Uh, and then I sorted the dates on the third picture. And then for the fourth, it was plotting the visitors. And the fifth one is creating a legend. And then I displayed the output. So this is a summary of uh, the findings I got. It's a quick summary. We will zoom into the years later on. So as you can see on the blue dots are the monthly visitors, and then the colored dots are the impacts of the storms when they happened. So the green is for mild impact, the orange is for moderate impact, and then the red is severe impact. As we can see already, a quick observation, there's noticeable drops during the landfall of Wu Tip in 2019 over here. And you can it rises up again, but dips down immediately after. So this could be possible lagging effects from the typhoon. And then there's also a sharp drop during 2023, which is Mawar. And then, however, for the moderate and mild typhoons, there seems to be no sign of significant impact. So taking a closer look, a little background on WUTIP. It was it happened February 23, and it was a Category 5 typhoon. However, it only passed by Guam, and it was about 200 miles south. So it brought heavy rains, which caused uh, flash flooding and isolated power outages. So during this time, visitor numbers dropped from approximately 147,000 in January to about 137,000 in February. So there was about a 6.8 decrease, which was 10,000 visitors. And this is most likely due to travel warnings, flight cancellations, power outages, and infrastructure damage. It could also be due to reduced tourist confidence. Now, for 2023, a little background on Mawar. It was a Category 4 when it hit Guam on May 22. Uh, it clipped the northern part of Guam, so it made a direct hit. Uh, and it brought Cat 4 winds and major power outages. About 98% of Guam's household had no power during these months. And this is the data that we found. So visitors' arrival dropped significantly in May to about 44,000 and then crashed some more in June to 17,000. So these are definitely due to the island-wide power outages, especially the airport and port shutdowns and the major infrastructure damage around the island. Recovery was very slow, and the June visitor numbers hit a year low, down 60% from April. And then for Typhoon Bolivian that happened on October 8th. It was a Category 1 typhoon, and it passed by about 75 miles northeast of Guam. There was uh no significant damage for the infrastructure, and there were only some mild but very fast power outages. So the visitor arrivals steadily rise during October, right here, suggesting that there had been no significant impact on tourism. So last one on 2024 is the Typhoon Monzi. It happened in November 11. Uh, it passed south of Guam. There was no minimal impact and there was no damage reported. Um, there were also no signs of significant impact, as you can see on the chart. It did not seem to deter visitor arrival. Additional insight: the largest drop during this year was in September, but from what I researched, it was unrelated to any marked typhoon that I saw. So for my conclusion, it can be observed that there's a drop in visitor arrivals during the month of a Category 4 or higher typhoon. However, there's not enough evidence to show a decrease in the following month due to 2019, where it had that lagging effect, where it went up and then down. So thus my hypothesis has not been validated. Some of my unanswered questions. Uh, why do some typhoons seem to have a lagging effect? And then what are the damage economically beyond visitor count? And then what other factors contribute to low visitor arrivals? So for my future steps, this is a very early look into the data. Um, Next, I would like to use predictive modeling to forecast visitor arrivals and quantify typhoon impact. I would also include data like traveler reviews and business reports to find indirect impacts. And I would like to explore and integrate economic data with my findings. So what I learned, um, I gained hands-on experience working with unstructured real-world data, and I learned how to use tools like pandas and plotly to visualize and interpret data trends with Python. This was my first project like this. So what I do differently is I would like to find ways to automate data extraction. I would like to create a dashboard to showcase my data, and then I would like to tie in economic data with my findings to build a stronger case for my conclusion. For acknowledgements, I would like to thank Dr. Alexander, Dr. Sean, Kayapuni, Luke, Connor, and Gavon for helping me during this program. And I would like to thank the NSF and University of Hawaii for sponsoring this program. Thank you.
Good job. Does anyone have any questions?
Earl, if you go
Yes.
back to your graph, I saw there was like a big drop in I think tourism one
Oh,
year.
yes.
Unrelated, but I'm just curious if there's and if like right around that 2020 time frame, is that COVID?
That is COVID, yes.
Okay. All right. And it looks like the tourism is still a little depressed from that.
Yes, it has never really truly recovered.
Okay. Cool. Very nice.
Thank you.